Good morning, everyone. My name is Milutin Djuraskovic. I work at the Smith Research Group of VUB and the Digital Inclusion and Citizen Engagement Unit. And our motto is to make technology society-proof. So we do a lot of co-creation and citizen engagement in European projects, but also with cities, other academic institutions, civil society organizations, and so on. So today I will present to you Neutrality Story Maps, which is a digital storytelling platform that we're creating together with CERTH, our technical partner on this platform, within the context of Up 2030, which is another Horizon Europe project. So what I will do first is just take you a bit through what the project is, the goals and objectives of this project, the platform, and then digital storytelling, how you can actually use it to engage citizens in your cities. And then briefly the co-creation process and how we actually co-designed this platform and are still co-designing it with different stakeholders within Up 2030. So what is Up 2030? It's a Horizon Europe project that aims to support the cities in driving the socio-technical transitions that they would need to meet their climate neutrality targets. And this is through urban planning and design. So you have many stakeholders collaborating in these different cities. You have academic institutions, tool providers, urban planners, researchers. So collaboration really between 47 partners, more or less, in these 11 pilot cities. And of course, inclusive participation is key. So citizens actually become agents of change. And the project adopts an innovative methodology, which is the 5-up approach, through the co-development and implementation of science-based yet practical tools and methods. And this is where we come in. So I don't know what's happening. Okay, now it's working. So our deliverable as VUB, we have two deliverables, Neutrality Story Maps for Pilot Cities 1 and 2. We are the lead on these deliverables, and then the technical implementation of the platform is done by CERTH, our technical partner. And Neutrality Story Maps, these deliverables actually include the methodology development for digital storytelling using maps. So this is to inform the planning and design in these cities, taking into account citizens' perceptions, experiences with climate change, their preferences, but also their values that shape their sense of place. So we need to see how they develop actually their place identity. So in order to do that, we're developing Neutrality Story Map. What is the Neutrality Story Maps? It is a mobile-friendly web platform that aims to raise awareness and engage citizens in climate neutrality initiatives in these cities. So it's not a citizen participation tool in the sense of citizens document and upload complaints about what's not working in their street or what they would need to change in this neighborhood and so on. Because I believe most of these cities that we actually are working with, they already have such communication channels. So either through their websites or other channels. So what Neutrality Story Maps aims to do is, through digital storytelling and future scenarios, so using these short audiovisual clips that combine photographs, text, and or voiceover narration, so a multimedia narrative format basically. What it aims to do is to capture citizens' lived experiences and future visions, or climate stories. This is how we call them on the platform. So this will allow us to see the thoughts, sensations, concerns, issues, and hopes of these populations, especially vulnerable groups, through a narrative format. So here, in terms of the digital divide and the technical skills that would be required to participate in such a platform, these are here kind of minimized because storytelling, creating a story. Now everybody more or less is acquainted of how to do that on a social media platform. For example, if you create a story or you create a post. So we're all more or less used to narrate our experiences now using similar digital tools. And since just transition, urban resilience are also key pillars in this project, it is important to see the visions of the city that are often marginalized and sidelined, so not just to listen on, okay, the expertise of urban planners and scientists of, okay, what the future of the city has to be, but no, to also scope future resilience better by actually listening to the visions and the ideas and the thoughts and hopes of all the local population, including vulnerable groups that are often sidelined. So why digital storytelling actually? Um, Storytelling really fosters empathy and helps cities build a common future vision, between a lot of different communities that are often maybe segregated, or even between different generations of, maybe older adults have a different vision of what they want the city to be based on their past experiences. Maybe a youth want a different vision. So how to kind of reconcile these visions and create a common future vision? So storytelling really connects lived experiences to knowledge creation. So by crafting these narratives and that highlight actually the interconnectedness of mind, body, community, and environment. So it makes it clear that how people behave, it's not just based on a rational choice. No, it's also based on how they're feeling, their relation to their community, how strong this bond is, their relationship to this space and to this environment. All of these components interact to kind of inform how people behave in this city, or how they envision the future of their city. So digital storytelling highlights that by showing this emotional component. So it allows for complex issues such as climate change to be more relatable, compelling, memorable, and accessible. And by highlighting these personal stories, digital storytelling challenges dominant discourses and promotes social and environmental justice. So it gives a voice to to populations that aren't often consulted in many of these future plans and new mobility schemes and so on and so forth. So by narrating this intangible experiences of place and space, it allows policymakers and urban planners to have knowledge that is not really readily available. So translating this intangible experience into actionable knowledge. So in that sense, this method is also useful for anticipatory governance, because it allows you to already preempt certain issues that you might encounter later by actually seeing how this population is experiencing climate change, how they perceive it, their attitudes towards it. So again, how they're feeling about it, how they're feeling, are they hopeful about the future? Are they pessimistic? Why are they behaving the way they do? So in that sense, it allows you to kind of avoid maladaptation later in terms of creating urban regeneration plans and then adopting them and seeing, oh, but maybe they're not effective in this respect or with this population. So in that sense, by translating this intangible experience of place and space, it allows cities to prioritize the use value over the exchange value of the city, and to make sure that all of your policies and urban planning is suitable for all of the local population. And besides anticipatory governance, of course, a lot of cities have seen value in using this platform and digital storytelling to communicate complex statistics, scientific data about climate change in a more accessible format. So in that sense, you can raise awareness, And then people can get inspired by the experiences of others, by the data that you're sharing, by like a lot of your initiatives, for example, that you want to maximize their reach. You can also create a digital stories around these initiatives. People can get inspired, then discuss it in their own social groups. In that sense, this method also promotes social learning. So these are basically four key objectives that we try to reach by applying this method in up 2030 through neutrality story maps. So just to take you through very quickly how we are co-creating this platform. So the methodology is under development within up 2030 by VUB and CERTH, and a co-creative process with the policymakers and citizens in these cities to foster tool ownership in each pilot city. So we want to make sure that we're developing this platform for these citizens and for these cities, and not just imposing a vision of, okay, how this platform should be, and then see later whether it's effective or not. No, we're trying to already see what they want, how they would use it, how it can complement their communication strategy and communication tools that they have already in place. So in April 2024, we gathered initial user requirements through group interviews with citizens and policymakers in 3 pilot cities. Then CERT created mock-ups of this platform based on these requirements in May. In June, we took these mock-ups to a workshop in Rotterdam and an event in Rotterdam, and we gathered feedback on these mock-ups from the 10 cities in attendance. Then we, of course, sent a survey to gather additional user requirements. Then the platform was coded, the first version of Neutrality Story Maps, according to this feedback by CERT. Then we launched a second round of co-design. Then we trained the cities to use this platform, this first platform in Zagreb, and an event in Zagreb this October. And then since November, cities are actually populating the first coded version of the platform with the content. We're organizing co-creation sessions with these cities to help them navigate the platform and how to complement the narrative element with data and audiovisual material and so on. And we're currently also working on the privacy policy and terms of conditions, of course, before making the platform public. So after these rounds of co-design, the cities and the citizens decided that the best way to use neutrality story maps, you have 3 options basically. So it depends on the barriers and motivation in each city, how they see the added value of such a platform and such a method. So the 3 main options is first, crowdsourcing stories from citizens. So here the city would collect stories from citizens to assist them in anticipating problems, evaluating their initiatives, gathering interest for future urban planning and restoration, but also just to harness citizen sentiment based on their lived experience with climate change in their city and their future vision. The second option is that the city here is a storyteller, so not the citizens. Here only cities populate the platform with curated stories displayed on a timeline and a map to communicate their success stories, the risks they're addressing, initiatives, and also, of course, to raise awareness. And the last option is a more static kind of option. It's a longer scrollytelling article that is created with the cities, with different data and maps intended at, again, communicating the risks being addressed by this pilot city in an accessible way, with the possibility of using personas. So here a city, for example, wants to reach a target audience with effective communication. So we're creating with one of the pilot cities personas of this target audience to see, okay, why are they not, for example, having more active travel or using bikes to work or doing this? And then on that basis, after creating these personas, we create a digital story that would be most effective with them to make sure that this communication strategy is effective. So these are basically the 3 ways that we will be using neutrality story maps in up 2030. And now Nick, my colleague, will actually share the platform, so I'll show you the different examples. And then he would go more into the technical part of, okay, how to create these stories. So this is the homepage of like a test city. So this is a mock story that we created. This is mostly the third option that I discussed in the end, which is the static scrollytelling article that most cities and the project actually, this is their preferred option. So you arrive, you have first the title, Paving the Way, Embracing Active Travel for a Climate Neutral Future. So a catchy title. You start your digital story, in a more accessible terms. Still, you don't introduce big scientific information. So here, for example, we start with, okay, the morning commute. Every day, thousands of us face the chaos of rush hour. But what if the journey to work could be different? So here you sparking just the reflection and grabbing the attention of the reader. And you can have a before and after a photo here. You can show them that, okay, this is how it is now. This is how it could look like in the future, to just spark the imagination a bit. Then you go further. So this is what we mean by scrollytelling. So you scroll and different components come together. There's like dynamic transitions. Here you have a map, for example, an interactive map that shows you the carbon emissions. The cars and motorbikes fill our air with pollutants, harming both our environment and our health. So you introduce the problem again. Then you go further. Here you stress the importance of finding a solution to this problem. And then you introduce active travel, so more, scientific terms, and it becomes more and more complex. Again, using the visual element in the back as a, to complement it, to make it engaging and fun. Then you can complement it with personal stories. For example, here, stories of change. Meet Sarah, who swapped her daily drive for a bike ride to work. And this is Carlos. You can then link this to an individual story that will be displayed on a timeline and on a map, where you can actually hear this person speaking, having a video of their testimony, which is again compelling and engaging. And here you go a bit more, about the solution and more technical and scientific terms. So neutrality mobility schemes, how does it foster sustainable living, and so on. Yeah. And then here you stress, you end with a call to action, basically, to the citizen of how their journey can be part of the solution, and how together we can pave the way towards a climate neutral future. So this is basically the structure of a scrollytelling article. You start very soft and engaging and attractive terminology. You introduce the problem, the solution, more scientific data, and then a call to action. So in this way, your communication is really tailored to this target group that you're trying to engage. And in that sense, it's more effective. Can you show, please, Nick, the individual stories? So this was the scrollytelling article on the home page. And then you have another tab, which is the individual stories. So here a citizen can, for example, a city can start a prompt. Let's say, share with us your journey to work every day, or I don't know, your housing situation, and so on. And then citizens can just introduce like shorter stories on the platform. This is one example. Again, it's images complemented with a small text. Yeah, just scroll through it, Nick. It's the same thing, but just a smaller format. So these are just two examples of how you can use the platform. Of course, you have more functionalities, but I think we'll just keep it at that now. And now my colleague Nick will show you how to create these digital stories and how the platform works. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Nick Pantelidis from Center for Research and Technology in Thessaloniki, Greece, and we're working with VUB NAP 2030 developing the Neutrality Story Maps tool. So That's a tool, and it's not. It's still under development, but the two main features of the tool, that is the homepage creation and the stories creation, and the homepage itself and the stories page, are almost ready. And so the first page that a user sees in the platform is the homepage. That's actually a scroll-telling article that can be created only by the city. Then we have the stories page that is actually a timeline with the previews of the stories and a map that will show the pins of the location of each story. Here you see the preview, some information about the story. You'll be able to filter the stories, like, comment if this option is enabled by the city, and share the story to other social media platforms. And if you click on the story, you can see it in a full screen, and then you scroll through the story. And when you have multiple stories, you can go to the next story if you continue scrolling. So you will not have to go back and click again to another story. Then we will also have the threads page that it's actually groups of stories under the same topic. And the resources page that will contain articles from the city, like educational material, how to use a platform, how to create a compelling story, and things like that. And also the thread, only the city will be available to will be able to create threads, but a citizen will be able to post a story under a specific thread that the city has created. The application is the same, the structure of the application for all the cities, but the content changes based on the city that you have selected. So if you go to another city, you will see different content. And the main functionality that of the application is the ability to create a story, a new story, or a homepage. So the whole process is, we think that it's very easy for a user without a lot of experience. So first, you can select the layout of the story. For the story, we have only two options, media and text side by side. So you have some text, and you can select a media type that can be an image, a video, an audio, or a map. And you have the image on the right or the left, and the text on the other side. Or you can select the media with overlay text box, where you have a text box and an image or a video on the background. And also you have many other options like changing the size of the text, the alignment, the color, if it will be bold, italic, underlined, or you can also add links. For example, in this layout, you can select the position of the text box. You can add more text box for this specific image, and then you can go and create another page with different content. The homepage is the structure of the page for creating this scroll-telling article is similar to the story, but you have more options in terms of the layouts that are available. So here, for example, we have the title page. You can select the style if the image will be on the background, or it will be on the half side of the page. You can write the title, the subtitle, select the title position between some predefined options, and the media type, video or image. Then again, here we have the media index side by side that is the same with the story. And also here we have another option except of image, video, audio, and map. That's the image comparison. So you have two images that is usually the same image before and after some change. And another important media type of the application is the map, since the tool is Neutrality Story Maps. So you have the option to use layers that you already have in ArcGIS. That's an online hosting platform for map layers. So you just put here the ID of your map, or you can draw custom layers on the map. You can put some pins or some squares, lines, change the color, etc. So you save and then you see the result on the map. Or you can upload KML or SAFE files that are file formats for map layers. And mainly, I think this is the and also here we have for the home page, we have the text page. That is just a page with only text. So you can add here a quote or something like that. And also you have the media page. That is a page that contains only a media. That can be image, audio, video, or a map. And finally, you can delete pages, you can reorder them, and etc. Now the tool is only available in English, but the plan, of course, is to make it available in all the different languages of the cities of the project. And you will also be able to create stories in 2 or more different languages in order to have in order for your platform to be friendly also for citizens that don't speak the local language, for example, tourists or people that work temporarily there. That's all I think about the tool.